All right, guys, let's take a look at what the Utah Jazz did this free agency. It wasn't a lot, but I think there's a clear message the Jazz have sent today. And who knows what happens over the next few days, but at least we can talk about what happened today. It's the Utah Jazz Hoops Nerd Show. All right, guys, so the Utah Jazz today, let's just start from the top. They did one move, and then they made 3 other minor moves, but I actually think it's a bigger statement they made than actual moves. So the actual pretty big move they made is they trade Royce O'Neale. He goes to the Brooklyn Nets. They get a first-round pick back. At first, people were wondering what the pick was. Man, that yellow is so bright from that jersey. Look at that. Can you tell it's green under my hat? Anyways, they trade Royce O'Neale for a first-round pick. They get a pick. Everyone wonders at first if it's the Brooklyn pick. It's actually the worst of the 76ers picks that the Brooklyn Nets got in the Harden trade, I believe. So, but it's still first-round pick, all right? Hey, in the NBA, first-round picks are the currency of the NBA. If you want to make any sort of trade in the NBA, if you want to trade up in the draft, if you want to trade for a draft pick, if you want to trade for a player, you have to have first-round draft picks. Second-round picks have almost zero value to teams. So, we saw that with DeJounte Murray. If the Spurs were going to trade DeJounte Murray to the Atlanta Hawks, it cost 3 first-round picks. That was the cost. So if the Jazz want to make any sort of move in the future, and it sounds like that's what the Jazz said, they are just trying to collect picks for future transactions, you have to have first-round picks. And so honestly, it's a good move for the Jazz in a vacuum. And if you think about it, the Jazz got Royce O'Neale, who, by the way, has a great story. Royce O'Neale, one of my favorite players on the Jazz to root for, goes undrafted, plays in Europe for a couple years. The Jazz pick him up from Europe. And remember when the Jazz were deciding between Joel Bolomboy and Royce O'Neale? Joel Bolomboy, like Obi-Wan said, that's a name I haven't heard in a long time. Joel Bolomboy. Remember? And most people wanted Joel Bolomboy. Although I wanted Royce O'Neale. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to toot my own horn, and I got the receipts from SLC Dunk. I was pro O'Neale from the beginning. Pro O'Neale! Anyways, shout out to Royce O'Neale, who was fantastic, a really great guy, one of the true good guys out there. Goes to the Brooklyn Nets. Nothing but great things to say about Royce O'Neale. I wish him the best, and I hope he succeeds. And if he wins a title, that'd be amazing. Although, it'll be interesting to see what happens in Brooklyn now that Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving are not going to be there. So we'll see what happens. Or maybe they stay. Who knows? We'll see what happens. But anyways, the Jazz trade Royce. Then what do? They waive Juancho Hernangomez, who had like $7 or $8 million of contract that was the Jazz could decide to just give it to him, or they could just decide not to. They chose not to. They waive him. And it hasn't looked like he's been brought on yet. So as of this video, at least, I could, anything that changes, let me know in the comments. But as of this video, no. Juancho Hernangomez, who was a lot of fun and also was in a really nice Netflix movie. Really fun movie. Go check it out. Bo, what was his name? Bo Cruz. So the Jazz waived Bo Cruz. They also do not extend a qualifying offer for Eric Paschall and no qualifying offer for Trent Forrest. Seems like pretty mundane moves, especially if you don't follow the Jazz. But there is a trend with 3 of those moves that I think is pretty interesting. Trading Royce O'Neale, no qualifying offer for Eric Paschall, and no qualifying offer for Trent Forrest. What do those 3 players have in common? Well, all 3 of those players are really close to Donovan Mitchell. Royce O'Neale, who was one of Donovan's closest friends on the team for his whole tenure, and I believe came on the team on that year that Donovan Mitchell joined the team. Eric Paschall grew up with Donovan Mitchell. They are very close friends, and the Jazz trade for Eric Paschall likely to make Donovan Mitchell happy after this season, seeing how little Quinn Snyder played him, where he was just depth. I mean, it was pretty clear that he was just to make Donovan Mitchell happy. And then Trent Forrest. I mean, if you go to Twitter and look at Trent Forrest, I don't have time to edit it tonight. I'm not going to do it. But if you go look at Donovan Mitchell's Twitter account, you can go see that he posted a picture just a few days ago, or retweeted the picture from Louisville. Who's in the photo? Who's in Louisville right now with Donovan Mitchell? Trent Forrest. Those 3 players are connected to Donovan Mitchell. What does that mean? That means the Jazz have made a big statement today and have said, that this is the team. This team is making the decisions now. No longer is Quinn Snyder telling us we can't make moves in the offseason like he did last offseason when the Jazz tried to make a trade with the Golden State Warriors. No longer are they making moves just to make Donovan Mitchell happy. No longer are the days of the Jazz being just kind of under Donovan Mitchell's control, to be quite honest. Now they are making moves that are best for the Jazz, and we will see over the next few days what those moves mean. Perhaps they build around Donovan Mitchell and say, hey, we're doing moves that are better for the team, but we will still build around you. Maybe that's what they do, or maybe they'll just do what's best for the Jazz. But either way, this is a great sign for the Jazz team that they are doing what's best for the Jazz. You know, everyone on this channel has players they love. I love Donovan Mitchell. He's a great guy. Fantastic person, personality, has been just nothing but a great guy just as a person and as a player on the Jazz since he's been here. But they've also had to make him happy. And there's been every sort of rumor out there that, by the way, he does not refute online, honestly, almost ever. The only time I've ever heard him refute anything was a weak kind of message at locker room cleanout. But it certainly wasn't something that you would write home to mom about. And it's just been very clear that Donovan Mitchell is probably going to leave after this contract's up. He got his max contract. Now he's looking into the future. And that's fine. He can do that. He can do whatever he wants. But the Jazz also can do what's best for the Jazz and do what's best for this team. And that means making moves that both get them under the cap, which these moves will help them do, and also make trades that make the Jazz better, like getting a first-round pick. Getting a first-round pick doesn't make the Jazz immediately better next year, but what it does do is help the Jazz in the long run have currency, so if they ever want to make a trade, for example, if they had any picks this year and they could have gone for Kevin Durant, they would have had first-round picks, but they've already been doing moves already that have cost them all their first-round picks, so they have zero chance at Kevin Durant. Zero. There is no way they can go get Kevin Durant unless they can trade Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert, but then you're just Kevin Durant and Jordan Clarkson, and that's not going to make it, all right? I hate to let everyone know that's not good enough. And so the Jazz are doing moves right now that make them better for the future. And it's great, and it's what's best for the team. And if Donovan Mitchell doesn't like it, well, tough. You have 3 years left on your contract. And if you really don't like it and you demand a trade, well, then enjoy Minnesota. Or enjoy Indiana. Hope you like being a king in Sacramento, because guess what? It's not too bad here in Utah. And that's the other thing that the Jazz need to do, and it looks like that's what they're saying. We're getting Will Hardy. He's a coach that's better for us now and in the future. We're doing moves that are better for the team for the future, not for just next year, but what's best for the team and the health of the team. That's what the Jazz are doing, and I love it. It's amazing. Guys, like and subscribe to the channel. Shout out to the All-Stars. They're fantastic. Every single one of you are amazing. I also posted, I've posted recently some clips of things I've been working on for a separate project for the NBA YouTube channel. If you're a starter or an All-Star, you can go see those. Thank you guys for the support of the channel. If you want to support the channel and help it grow, I really appreciate the memberships are honestly a big deal for me, and I appreciate it. So thank you to you guys for continuing to support, and I will talk to you next time.